Hello and welcome to this amazing masterclass of overcoming the 3 blocks to finding love. I'm Mia Saenz and this is Lori Montry. And so welcome to today. I'm going to be manning mostly the slides and the controls and talking too, but
in the chat and
everything else.
And
so bear with me. Okay, wonderful. All right, so we are started and away we go. All right, so thank you for being here for overcoming the top 3 blocks to finding love. Stop sabotaging your desire to find real lasting love and unlock your future now. Your task is not to seek love, but to merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. I think that that's really incredibly beautiful. When you take it slowly in, almost like medicine, your task is not to seek love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within you that you have built against it. Really lovely.
You know, Mia, I so appreciate Rumi for giving us that quote, right? I mean, he knew it so long ago that we were going to do this webinar.
That's right.
Just wrote that because it's exactly what we're talking about today, right? It is what the webinar is about. You are love, right? Love is all around you. Your lived experiences and the message that you have received and internalized have caused those barriers, right? Those are the kinds of barriers that prevent us from living fully within our love and manifesting our love both with ourselves and with our soulmate partner. Recognizing those barriers and learning to bust through them is the beautiful opportunity of growth that exists for all of us. In that way, our search for love allows us to return to who we really are, because unless we're willing to claim that wholeness, love is going to continue to be elusive. Yeah. So why are you guys here? Right? You're here because you are passionate, loving, glorious souls and want to be deeply connected with not only yourselves, but you also want to share your life with a partner that gets you, one that wants to bear witness to all that you are, to share experiences, to make beautiful memories, and to hold space for the greatest gift that the divine offers to humankind. You're here because you want love. Yeah. Now, maybe you're one of the people, you've had a lot of disappointments in this area of your life. Maybe you've closed your heart for now. Maybe you've been single for a little while and you really don't know how or where to start in this totally changed dating landscape. Maybe you have some real fears around opening your heart to another, or you don't feel like you have the time and energy to put into the search for a partner. In short, you're here because you have the desire to create a soul-led, connected, heart-thrilling relationship that you deserve, and you want to fast track your results to get on with living your life with your new fabulous partner. Oh, we have a comment in the chat. Hi, PJ. We are coming in one moment to the introductions for Mia and I. So I'll save introduction for that so that you don't have to hear about it twice. But during this masterclass, what we're going to be working on is we're going to reveal to you the 3 most common blocks to love, how to overcome them, so you can pave the way to that dynamic, incredible soul connection that feels fulfilling and joyful. You're going to see how the process can be demystified and how it can lead to a more beautiful relationship with yourself and with another divine soul. Now, we really want you to stay till the end of the masterclass because we're going to be sharing with you the amazing opportunity to take the work that everything that we're going to teach you here today. You're going to have the opportunity to take it forward with us in a 4-week intensive love course that we're offering. And we also have a special bonus for those of you who are participating in the masterclass. So hang out with us till the end so that you don't miss any of those things.
Awesome. And who are Lori and Mia, and why bother listening to them? I love this stuff we come up with. All right, besides Lori being a magnificent nervous system coach. Lori is trained as a Nuaria method instructor. This is a powerful method that involves working with your thoughts and emotions to create your reality. She is also somatic practitioner, but we live it in the body, trauma-informed eating psychology coach, and co-founder of the Greatest You Academy. She guides women powerfully on their path to self-actualization and authenticity by showing them how to connect deeply with their inner wisdom and overcome the blocks and self-imposed limitations that hold them back in the areas of life, in all areas of life. She stands side by side with her clients as they build a strong foundation of self-love and higher guidance empowerment. She really is a stunning woman as well. Her whole work, it just blows me away. So I'm very blessed.
That's what I always say about you, my partner, Mia Saenz. She's a love activist and creator of Women Making Miracles. She stands for love and supports you to do the same. Mia helps those who feel alone and yet dream to make love real in their lives so they can go out and seed love into the world. Mia helps you discover yourself, develop your miracle, and finally develop your world. As a clairvoyant, Mia also helps you tune into love's promise for your life and your work. Through her work as love teacher and coach, Mia has discovered the depth of love on all levels. Working through love opens the connection so that all of the life's purposes flow, which includes love, money, and abundance.
Awesome. All right, so the current situation right now, over 50% of US adults are single. Best-selling author Lisa Rankin tells us that loneliness is the #1 health problem in America.
Loneliness, yeah.
Yes, and if you think about that, you can actually feel it, because even a slight unipolar or consistent depression takes over humanity because they're lonely.
Yeah, and that's not to say that, the only way to build connection or soothe loneliness is through a love relationship, right? But it's very telling that as a society, we're suffering greatly from that lack of connection that is so important to our sense of well-being.
Yeah. The simple truth is that we humans need one another to be well and happy in life. While we may no longer require one another for economic and physical survival, we do need one another for emotional, psychological, and spiritual well-being. We all need to feel connected, valued, cared for, and respected. These experiences don't exist in a vacuum. They exist in relationships to one another. And I love Catherine Woodard Thomas.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so the #1 block, lacking clarity about who you are and what you want. You attract the right things when you have a sense of who you are.
Yeah. Now, let's think about this, right? If we're going to start out on a journey, we have to know where we're going, right? If you're going to say to yourself, oh, I want to go somewhere, and you get in your car, started the engine, but you don't even know where you're going.
Self-mastery training die ik op dit
Hold
moment
on,
aan het geven ben. En ik doe detox break programma's ook, self-care retreats. Ik heb er eentje van
I can't find the person that's talking.
Okay. Let's see. We'll run
When we
through.
screen share, it goes to the side. Sorry.
Here
I
we
don't
go.
see them at all. Oh, here it is.
Hier staat er een van mijn boeken op jouw boekenplak. Ik weet het niet.
Sorry about that, guys. When
Okay. So sorry. It gets distracting for us. We lose where we are. Sorry, guys. Okay, I really can't find her.
Oh, here we go. I think I did. Like a little game. It's like,
I know,
ooh,
really,
which
teamwork.
one?
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Well, welcome. So that's, so I was saying, right, we want to go somewhere, we go get in our car and we turn the car and then we sit there, right? If we don't know where we're going, we're not going to get anywhere. Literally, right? It's going to become really frustrating, unfulfilling, even boring just sitting there in your car. Pretty soon you're going to doubt whether you can get anywhere at all, right? And in that emotional vibration, you're definitely not a fantastic match for the trip that you want to take. So that's why it is so important to get clear on who you are, right? What you want in a partner, what you want in a relationship, and what you want for your life. A lot of people will say, you know, I feel like, you know, I just have to wait and kind of see what comes to me, but that's not how we create, right? So if you're going to have a powerful connected relationship with another person, you have to have a powerful connected relationship with your authentic self, right? To really understand who you are and what it is that you want. When you show up as someone else in a relationship, and you all probably know exactly what I mean by that, when you show up and you're not actually owning who you are and not being authentic, then you can't create a connection with another person because they're not interacting with the truth of who you are. And that's not a way to get love or feel loved. So many people today, you know, are using our relationships without even realizing it, to validate ourselves, to feel worthy, to bring a sense of security or even happiness. But this is entirely misplaced, right? The only person that we should really be depending on to make ourselves feel validated, worthy, happy, and loved is us. And guess what else? You're the very best person for that job. Why would you want to hand those responsibilities over to another person? Why would you hand over your precious soul to another and say, here, you deal with her or him, right? You're the only one who truly knows how to give yourself what you need. So it's time that we all start taking responsibility for that and owning this beautiful job.
Mhm.
That's how we get to go through life, right? Steady and safe, feeling amazing no matter what other people in your life say or do. That's truly living, and it's something that is woven into our Ready for Love class. So yeah, notice what resistance might have come up for you when I said that you're the one responsible for feeling safe, validated, worthy, and happy. Right? Some people might say, oh, I don't know how to care for myself or show up for myself. I don't want to do that work, or it doesn't feel as good when I do it. Right? And to all of that, I'll say, we just need a little bit of help learning how to do it more powerfully. A lot of us, we have never learned how to provide that security and safety and to validate ourselves in our worthiness, to make ourselves happy. And even though others aren't that great at it and they continually disappoint us, if we have no idea how to provide it for ourselves, then of course we're going to try to keep squeezing out a little bit from our relationships because a little bit is better than nothing. But when you really learn how to do it for yourself, you see how much better life is. It's a life where you get to feel loved, worthy, and secure, validated, seen, and heard, and happy no matter what, right? Many of our clients, me and I have taught self-love for a long time, and a lot of our clients have done beautiful self-love work, and they can stand in the place in their life now and say, I like who I am, right? And that's because, you know, they think that their self-love game is really up to speed. But the truth is, liking yourself is a beautiful piece of self-love. But the other piece is really knowing how to take care of yourself, really knowing how to meet yourself, how to provide yourself with safety, security, attention, worthiness, validation. And that's the work that is able to help you create a divine love connection with yourself and with another person. When you learn how to provide yourself with these core needs, then you're ready to step into a relationship with another in the most powerful and meaningful way possible, right? You come into the relationship not needing for the other person to create your well-being for you. That way you can create a relationship that is divine, intimate, soulful, and truly inspiring. A relationship that helps you reach your fullest potential as a creator. Yeah, can you imagine being in a kind of relationship where you don't hand yourself over to another person to feel good? You could just get to feel good all the time and then enjoy those good feelings with another person. That's the kind of strong relationships that are possible for highly conscious people who are willing to get deeply and divinely connected with themselves before trying to create a deep and divine relationship with another. Knowing who you really are and who you want to be in your relationship is not as easy as making a list, right? It involves really understanding what might be subconsciously blocking your ability to truthfully access your authentic self. When you act from that place, you can identify and magnetize the right partner for you. No more making decisions from that place of uncertainty, scarcity mindset, unworthiness, right?
Yeah.
And that's such a part of, it's a foundational piece of all the work that Mia and I do, whether it's, somebody wanting to create a divine love connection, someone wanting to, become more in a more fulfilling career, develop their sense of safety, overcome anxiety, whatever the goal is for the person, starting with that beautiful foundation of knowing who you are and being able to show up in the world authentically is the starting point for everything. And that is why it's the first block that we want to look at and overcome. Becoming authentic, knowing who you really are, and owning that is the first step to everything, including creating a divine love connection.
Yeah, really beautiful. So before we get to block 2, I get to share with you some client stories. And this is a new one for Lori. Well, not a new one for Lori. She knows about it, but it's a new one I'm putting in because we were graced with so many gentlemen today on the call. I'm going to share David with you. When he came to work with it was after a breakup. And those are the most difficult spaces to realign who you are. He felt the uncertainty. He felt and had a scarcity mindset and an underlying sense of unworthiness. I had known this gentleman for 10 years, and I was super honored when he reached out to me when his life completely fell apart in his early 50s. And so the most amazing work that was done was to restructure how he felt and saw himself. Now, I'm going to say this: men and women are different, and men and women are exactly the same regarding their emotional, intelligent work that needs to be done. This is all the stuff in getting to the place to create a beautiful relationship. So this gentleman, who literally was a gentleman, went from having anxiety daily because he felt like he was never doing enough for his daughter, for his relationships, for himself, for his job, to finding that secure foundation within himself. And as he grew that, the scarcity part of his mindset disappeared, and he became so empowered and such a beautiful human being that he actually felt secure enough to get into another beautiful relationship. But this time it was really beautiful because he wasn't afraid anymore. And so this is the power that this work does. It shifts and changes exactly who you are and allows you to go from a space, men or women, to go from a space of insecurity, not feeling well all the time, exhaustion, even your whole body gets run down when your mind runs away with everything that's about you. And so to be able to rebuild who you are and to move forward, as you all know, is the most important thing to each individual. It's a really powerful growth space. Okay, so block number 2. And yay, thank you, David, for that experience. It was great. Block number 2, operating from fears and limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
The flower doesn't dream of the bee. The flower blooms and the bee comes. Isn't that beautiful? I love that one. It's so beautiful.
Absolutely. The flower blooms. That's us, right?
Yeah.
We bloom and the bee comes. Yeah. Most people struggle with one or more of the following limiting beliefs or fears when it comes to their ability to bring love into their life. So I really just ask you to open up to these and really ask yourself if some part of these statements could be at play for you. Some of us think, oh, I'm too old, or I'm going to get hurt again. There are no good guys or no good ladies left. I'll lose myself, fear of engulfment, right? I don't have the time and energy. What if, we all have these thoughts, what if he doesn't find me interesting, pretty, smart, or fun enough? And nearly everyone, right, all of us here, certainly, if we're alive, we have experienced the hurt of in interpersonal relationships. And as we rack up those painful experiences, we build up varying degrees of sometimes bitterness and defensiveness, and just become increasingly needy on a relationship to fix our lives. This process begins even in our childhood, as hurtful experiences and dynamics lead us to put up walls, or to put on a pair of glasses where we perceive the world through a filter that we carry into our adulthood. And these adaptations can cause us to become increasingly self-protected, close it off in our adult relationships, and we even resist becoming too vulnerable, right? We use our relationships to give us a false sense of safety, or maybe we write people off very easily. These are all experiences that people have and bring to us all the time. And being raised by, our caregivers and our early developmental experiences have a lot to do with it. For example, if our caretakers or parents were somewhat negligent or cold, that could cause us to grow up kind of distrusting affection, right? You may feel suspicious of people who show you too much love or too much interest in you. You may then seek out relationships that recreate the dynamics from your past. You may then, choose partners who are aloof or distant. And the hard part is, it's not always easy to see when we're acting from these old patterns. So as a result, we tend to blame our inability to find love on external forces, something about us in particular, or, the list that I read to you before, being too old, not being able to find someone. Yeah, I'm going to lose myself, whatever. These are excuses. These are limiting beliefs. These are not truths, right? And this explains why so many of us tend to we either choose less than ideal relationship partners, right? Maybe you consistently find that you choose the ones who are emotionally unavailable, right? Or whatever it is, whatever the pattern is, because the process is largely unconscious. We often blame our partners, right, for the relationship's failed outcome. And then we feel devastated or hurt by the repeated rejections without really recognizing what's the actual cause of the patterns.
Yeah.
We can go one more.
Okay.
Yeah. The reasons we set ourselves up for failure are complex and often based on our own fears of intimacy. The truth is, we tend to stick with what's familiar to us, whether it's good for us or not. And we see that a lot with a lot of the people that we work with. It's, our fears of what we've experienced in the past are really very limiting in what we're ready, even though we're ready to create something different, right? There's a lot about our past that holds us back. It's actually a very common thing for people to say and genuinely feel that they want love, but the experience of real love is just simply too far from what they have known to be their version of love so far in their life, right? And we may have established this version of love in our minds as children, and then we carry it forward. And this explains why so many of us end up pushing love away in order to kind of preserve the story that was created when we were young.
For years to expand her business.
There you go. Wow, that was fast. You got on that one right away. Yeah.
They actually did.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah. So it's important to fight the patterns inside us that hold us back from realizing our potential for soul-led, dynamic, heart-thrilling love, because that's not who we really are, right? Those patterns. Our defenses don't actually shield us from the world or keep us from getting hurt. They only steal the joy and fulfillment that we were meant to enjoy. So that's block number 2 is really understanding what these blocks are for us and diving into that and knowing how to find them, because it's not as easy as just, picking from a list, right? It goes through, we actually help you understand and analyze some of your old experiences to see what the pattern is. And it's always very illuminating for people to figure that out. And, the process of overcoming limiting beliefs. I think we have a slide for that. The process is actually simple, not necessarily super easy, but it's very simple. We need to become aware of the belief and the life patterns that stem from the belief, right? We can see, I always choose the fixer upper, or I always, fill in the blank. Then we look at, where did that belief come from? And we really develop and take time with the new belief that you want to form. And then we wire that in. This is just plain old neuroscience at its best, right? So, and like I said, it is simple, but not always easy. And we take you through a lot of different tools and modalities to help you get through these 4 steps, between nervous system work, meditation, parts work, inner child, a very effective redoing process, and working with these limiting beliefs. You get to watch and change, see how you change internally, and then your whole world changes without you really needing to do much of anything at all. It just happens because our beliefs do create our existence. And so as you are changing your beliefs and breaking old patterns, it's incredible to watch how everything in your world shifts and changes right along with you.
Yeah. So Eva is our next one, and she, when she came forward, she was about 27, and I call her the runaway bride. Everybody touches us so specially. I call her the runaway bride because she went off to get married. They decided to do their honeymoon first. By the time it got 2 days before the wedding, she couldn't take it anymore. She realized that she was not living the right experience for her. Her beliefs had made her think that this was the only one that would become her husband. And so when she started thinking about this, she realized that she wanted something different. She wanted something more spiritual, more love-based, more soul-led, if we can use that word. And so she left to do work on herself. When she did the work, her life totally changed. She wasn't fearful anymore. She wasn't afraid. She was this bright light. She also moved into not only a beautiful relationship for many years, she also moved into a beautiful career. So love, money, and abundance literally all seem to be wrapped together. So when you learn, when you learn the limiting beliefs or how to break them, I wanted to say the lies. When you learn the lies about yourself and you can shift that, everything seems to open up. So that's even. It's incredible to watch. There are several people on the call here who have been longtime clients or clients that come and go. It's beautiful to watch you guys elevate up and to grow the internal graces within yourself, that everybody sees you as a completely different person than when you first started out.
Yeah. And what I really love about that story, Mia, is that, it takes a certain bravery to listen to that voice, right? Because Eva, being young, she heard that voice and she didn't go forward, right? And so many people, we go forward, even though we hear the voice, we go forward anyway. 20 years later, we're realizing, I really wish I would have listened to that voice. And it's something that we all have. And so learning how to tune into that and be brave enough to listen and heed the call is something that, is such a beautiful tool that we can save ourselves, right? So much time and heartache when we're willing to tune in and to trust our wisdom.
And you know, the thing that we didn't know when we first started this, Lori and I individually, and I'm sure you all can recognize this within yourself, is you didn't know that you could be who you are becoming, right? Who you've opened up your awareness to be. So look at this as the more I reach out and change these beliefs about myself, the faster, the smoother, the quicker I get to the destination. Now, it's not the only destination, it's just the next one. And it's such a beautiful place to live in that space with this confidence about yourself. It's
Yeah, that's a perfect lead into block number 3.
Yeah. So block number 3, operating from a story of impossibility. God will bring the right person into your life at the right time. Always believe that. If they are not there, God isn't finished yet. I love that. It makes me teary because that's really beautiful.
Yeah, as humans, we tend to focus almost exclusively, right, what's right in front of us, what we can see, feel, touch, and experience. Our brains tell us this is the only thing available to us. We get busy and really caught up on our immediate world, and then we close ourselves off vibrationally to what's possible. And in fact, what's actually meant for us. And this is a very powerless way to exist, to think that, you know, what's available to us is only what's in front of us, because what we believe is what we create, what we can imagine, what we can, you know, give our time, attention, and focus to is what we can create. Some people call this the law of attraction. Some people explain it as based in faith, and others rely on neuroscience to explain why this statement is true. But your thoughts create your reality.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What we believe is what we create. Some people call this, as Lori said, the law of attraction. Some people, did you just do this? Some people explain it as faith-based. Isn't this woman lovely? Since she just spoke of this, I don't have to go over it. Your thoughts create your reality.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, right? I mean, we can see this because our thoughts create our perceptions. They create our belief as far as, you know, what's happening, what's reality. So the goal is to switch from the focus from running from what you've been in the past, right, to running toward all that you're becoming in the very present. We can't engage in our quest for love firmly anchored in the wounded and unsatisfied facts of the past. Now you may say, wait a minute, I am focused on the relationship that I want, right? But that is not the same thing as focusing on what's wanted. If you're sitting at home and you're saying to yourself, oh, here I am, you know, sitting at home on another Saturday night, or God, I wish I had somebody to share this with, or, you know, whatever the longing is for you, if that's what you're focused on, unfortunately, that's what you're creating, right? Focusing on the longing is not the same thing as focusing on what you want. That's focusing on what you don't have, right? And since the focus is on the lack, then you're literally creating more lack. You're getting more loneliness. You're getting more wishing and wanting. The law says, right, you get what you're focused on. So it's not you get what you want, you get what you're focused on. So focusing on what you want looks like knowing that your long-awaited partner could literally show up in any second. It's about being fully prepared for how you want to show up and meet him or her. This is where your power of creation comes to life. You get to create the joyous, healthy, loving, committed union that's literally everything that you want.
It's really about energy, isn't it?
It absolutely is. You know, you can't be both doubting, right, that you can attract the right partner. You can't doubt your ability to be in a healthy relationship, doubt that contentment and ease can be yours with another person, right? Because the person that you're meant to attract is no match for the doubts that you may be allowing into your daily experience. So much of our work is about helping you recognize your worth and the possibilities that truly are available to you so that you can begin to see the evidence of that really showing up in your world.
You know, Lori, I wanted to just say for each individual that's on the phone lines or on the call here. Can you imagine yourself being attracted to somebody who was doubtful, who was insecure, who was not knowing who they were? So think about that.
Yeah.
That just blew me away when that came to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So hear this. This is important. You would not desire deep soul connection unless it was meant for you.
Mhm.
I love saying that. And I
Yeah.
love people's faces when they really are able and their hearts can take that in. The strong desires that you have is how the universe tells us how it wants to express itself through us. So believe that it is, if you truly desire it from your place of authenticity, it is meant for you because it is.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a beautiful prayer taken from the book The Soulmate Secret by Ariel Ford. We also interviewed
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
on the love being the greatest force on earth. God, Goddess, and all that is, in this moment, I am grateful for the healing of my heart of everything that would stop me from attracting my soulmate. In this moment, I remember that my perfect right partner is magnetizing to me, and my only job is to reset in perfect awareness that my soulmate's heart is already joined with mine as I savor the waiting. And so it is. That's really beautiful.
And so it is. That's the kind of energy. We put that in there so that you could see that's the kind of energy that we bring to our desires, right? And that's how we become a vibrational match for the things that we want to create, is by truly living it today. Even before the evidence of it is here, we believe in it. And because our thoughts create our reality, right? And so we just kind of offer, write your own declaration of faith, similar to what you felt as you were hearing those words. And then read it every day, at least 3 times, post it somewhere where you can see it, and write it on every mirror. I had a client who had not sure why, but her basement had a whole wall of mirror, and she wrote her strong affirmation all over it. And it was one of the most powerful things that she could do. And just start to feel and live in the joy of where you are today as you wait for all that is on its way. Mia, can you go back one slide? We want, someone wants to take a screenshot of this incredible prayer, which I think is a fabulous idea.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to hear about one of our clients who really embraced this or broke this block by truly believing in and living in the energy of what it's like to already have a beautiful connection.
Yeah. So Diane came to us. She was about 60 years old. She knew her life wasn't over, although society would say you have to slow down and all that. So she was in her early, just had turned 60. Her dream was to get remarried and to have a bed and breakfast. She was in a remote part of Canada. Her negative or limiting beliefs were, I can't find anyone here because this is a vacation community. And so it was really beautiful working with her as we went through this. Not only did we work on the manifestation of the beach house she grew up in, which she did buy, which she did remodel, which she did turn into her B&B. I'll get to all the good stuff that you guys really want to hear how this worked out. Her limiting beliefs totally disappeared. She did everything I asked her to do. She was a little warrior. She used to drive anywhere from 2 to 2.5 hours to go on dates because that's how remote their little place was on, or her place was on the beach. And I finally said to her, we've done all this work together. You've grown so much. Can you have the faith? This is what I see. So oftentimes I channel and so what I saw, I said was, I see him as one of your contractors coming to the door, and he'll be, it's as simple as that. If you can trust and bring in that your partner will find you as you're seeking him, it will happen. the week after her time with me ended, this gentleman came to her door, was one of her contractors. It makes me teary. They fell in love. They got married. Of course, the B&B was done. They're running the B&B. They've been married for like 6 years now. They are so happy. So the point is break these limiting beliefs. Get to clear the crap away.
Yeah.
Write your declaration of faith. Do it at least 3 times a day, plus all the other removal of the limiting beliefs and all the lies that have been placed upon you. Because your story is definitely not complete. We believe, Lori and I believe, that you have the ability to create anything and everything you want. There are answers out there for creation. We've seen it in our own lives, going through me several times, almost death, and coming through to rebuilding a glorious relationship with my husband, to Lori raising her beautiful children and being happily in a relationship herself, to us coming together a couple years ago to create this magic. So you guys need to be vested and focused in on your dream, your space, just as the others have done.
Absolutely. And it's not,
Incredibly
to be
beautiful.
fair, it's not always easy to do, right? And it's
It's
certainly
a
not
day
easy
by
to
day,
do.
moment
Yeah.
by moment,
Yeah.
loving and saying, it's okay, I'll try better the next time. Because isn't that the human thing, Lori? We beat ourselves up and then we don't know how to comfort ourselves, or the somatic body work that we teach, where you can regulate your nervous system so that you can absorb all the information again, instead of waiting for a day or two to move by before you can come back to center. Coming back to center should be an instant thing. Not that there shoulds, but it's the ability that you do
Possible,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing, it's hard, especially when, we don't always see our own issues, right? I've had so many times where I just think, oh, gosh, I'm doing great. I'm doing everything right. And then have a powerful guide, somebody, that I can trust to say, oh, now I see how I was blocking myself. It's not always clear, right? And if anyone could have said, it's love isn't possible for me, I'm in this remote place, in my 60s, whatever, it would have been Diane. So her, really showing up and believing and being willing to open herself that way, it's incredible. So you may have a lot of evidence that what you want can't come to you, but it is all and none of it is real, right? It will not keep you from what you want to create once you open yourself and dedicate yourself to believing in it and to becoming a match for it.
Yeah.
So that is why all of these things, so that you can have success stories like the people that Mia brought to you. And it was hard to choose because there are so many really incredible stories, but that's the reason why we created Ready for Love. Do we have the slides for the outline of the weeks?
We have the slides for everything still. I just wanted to see everybody's face.
Yeah,
Okay, here we go.
Lovely. Yeah. So this is all about, giving you the necessary education, the action steps, and then the support that you need to make big, beautiful love a possibility in your life. It's broken down into 4 weeks. Week 1 is all about, overcoming that first block that we talked about, getting to know you and making the map for where you're going, right? If we're going to set out on a trip, I want a map and I want to know exactly where I'm going and which turns to take. We talk about, who are you really? What are your values? What are your strengths? What are your superpowers? What do you want out of life? What do you want out of a relationship? Who do you want? What do you want in a partner? These are all questions that we explore, and it's not just a list of questions, right? Getting to the real answers involves stripping away the layers of shoulds and ought tos, so that you can really get to the truth and the essence of who you are and what you really want, right? Because it's only from this place of true authenticity that you can create that strong, healthy relationship. You also get to learn, as we talked about today, how to be the source of your own worth, validation, and security, and everything else that you may be looking to another person to give you, because that is something you get to give yourself and then share with another person.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Week 2 is preparing space, right? It's going to be preparing your mind, your heart, and your physical space for bringing love in. Right? We can't welcome someone into our lives unless we've prepared a space for them. And that means cleaning out the fears, the limiting beliefs, the old triggers, and the storytelling. A lot of people are trying to create a relationship, even though they're afraid of being hurt, being vulnerable, or losing their independence. But owning your confidence and beauty, and yes, every single one of us is incredibly beautiful. All of this are essential parts of attracting our loving partner.
Beautiful. Owning your confidence and beauty. And yes, as Lori said, everyone is beautiful. Preparing your mental and emotional and physical space must be done in order to truly, readily prepare yourself for a divine love connection.
Yeah. Preparing your mental, emotional, and physical space. That's what week 2 is all about. And then in week 3, we start to talk about, okay, maybe it's been a while, how does this thing work? Maybe it's not been a while, but you're not happy with the way that it's been going. So we really take you through what it means to get out there, what it means to start exploring, whatever that looks like for you. There's no pushing involved. There's no, you got to go out on 3 dates by Friday or anything really like that, right? It's really just opening and kind of deciding what you're ready for and the pace that you'd like to do it. And then we teach you how to go about doing it, right? That is something, this program really combines, the limiting belief work, the getting to know yourself with the practical. What's it look like for me to, maybe create a dating profile? What's it like for me? What are some of the other ways that I can open myself and be with other people? So this is a very practical week where we help you figure out how you're going to get there, right? Some of you may know and have had the experience. It's a whole new world out there, right? And rather than just kind of fumbling around in the dark, you can navigate it more effectively with support and guidance. So we guide you through some of the most important steps and tips to be as successful as possible in connecting with people who are good matches for you, right? We don't have to waste a bunch of time here. The process can be, we all know it can be daunting, scary, exhausting, and that's why we're going to guide you through it and help and support you in being both authentic and magnetic. And we also, we go over some things to help make sure you're feeling safe and that, if there are red flags, what are your red flags? We're not going to tell you what they are. We're going to help you understand and develop so that you know what they are for you. What kind of protocols do you want to set up for yourself for meeting, talking, getting physical, all the kinds of important things that you can think about beforehand so that you know that in the moment you can make a choice that's consistent with your values. It's always better to be thinking about these things ahead of time rather than waiting in the moment. And that's something, that's a fear, actually, when people will tell us, I don't know what I would do in this situation. Well, let's figure it out beforehand, and then you don't have to be afraid of it, right? And finally, it's just important to be aware of how you're going to stay with yourself and even while you're with another, because that's such an important part of a healthy relationship. And then week 4, we move into staying in the game, right? What are some of the things once you are maybe up and running and the fun and opportunity for growth really happens, because this is undoubtedly where you're going to see some of the old triggers, right? There might be some rejection or uncomfortable interactions, time when you want to abandon ship, but these situations are actually the exactly what we need for the growth and refinement of what we want. So when you expect them and you know how to handle them in a way that feels authentic and empowered, they don't throw you off course. So that's what week 4 is all about, right? So it's kind of from beginning to end, all the pieces. So that you're ready for love, or that Ready for Love, the course is for you if these following things. If you've been at the dating game for a while, haven't found what you're looking for, If you want a loving, lasting, soul-thrilling relationship, but you don't even know where to start, you lack the confidence in dating, you feel like you don't have time or energy to devote to finding a mate, or you feel nervous about what the other person is thinking about you, and that kind of shuts you down. Maybe you want love, but you're afraid to let anyone in. Or you don't know what the heck you want, but you have a sense that this isn't where you want to be right now.
Oops. How come it's not moving? Well, we're at the end.
Is that that's our
We're-
last slide? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's why it's not moving.
that's perfect. So what I'd really love to do, we had a question in the chat, and then we can open it up for a few minutes, maybe about 10 minutes with some other questions. We do have
The last question about, can we put the prayer in the chat? I cannot, because it is a video, or it's and I can't get it off. But what I will work on is getting it written up and putting it in the replay email for you.
Beautiful. Yeah, then everybody can have it. And just, and this doesn't have to be the one that you use. We want it to be something that resonates with you. But if by reading it and working with it, you can feel that energy of just claiming what it is that is wanted. And so we had a question actually kind of related to that. And that is, I'm not clear on the change from wanting the lack versus manifesting. And it's actually very simple, but it will take a little bit of practice for you to have some experiences to notice, what am I more focused on? So, I work with people a lot of times with their physical health and with the bodies that they want to create for themselves. And so on focusing on the lack, they might come in and say, oh my God, I got to lose, 20 pounds, 50 pounds, whatever it is. I'm so heavy. I just really want to lose this weight. Right. And if we think about that and what's the difference between focusing on the lack and focusing on what's really wanted, you can see and feel this is 100% focused on what's not there. This is 100% focused on what's wrong, what is not wanted. Right. So change that to focusing on what is wanted, right? And that looks more like, I'm so excited for health. I'm so excited to, maybe there's something in particular that, that this person is wanting when their body matches the version that they see themselves. So I can't wait to run that race. I'm so excited to wake up in the morning and feel light and energetic. That's focusing on what's wanted, as opposed to, oh, I feel so lethargic in the morning and so, heavy, whatever it is. In the area of love, it's very similar. Am I focused on the loneliness? Oh man, look at that couple. Oh, I wish, I had somebody to laugh and punch in the arm and, whatever it is. And versus, that's focusing on the lack, of course, right? The feeling, because that's what we're really talking about. What is the feeling inside? Is it a feeling of, oh, imagine if we could, I wish we need to invent a machine that can measure the vibration of us when we're in a certain spot. So if we had this machine and I'm looking over there at this couple and I'm like, oh, right. I could see the vibration going down here at the bottom, right?
But
if
instead,
look at
it can be, I can't wait until
exactly.
I get to experience
right.
that.
Like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. I hope, or she's so lovely.
Or they're adorable together. It's about not
right.
jealousy. The energy is about love.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can see the vibration up here, like, whoo, and that's how we call it in. That's how we prepare ourselves for what's wanted. So I know that, and it takes some practice, because I remember doing this work and trying to figure out, wait, am I focused on the lack or am I focused on what's wanted? So, it's okay for it to take a little bit of time for you to notice your thoughts, but it is something that we work on in the class, because it takes a little bit of adjustment, because we're so used to focusing on the lack, right? Because that is, and actually we're wired that way. We're wired to take note, because those are the kinds of things that are dangerous to us, right?
For survival.
Yeah, exactly. So this is something that we know that it's not, you don't hear it once and then go out and start creating it. But with that in mind, I hope it does start to resonate with you, and you do notice where you're showing up more focused on what you don't have than on what you want.
Yeah.
So I hope, let's see, Julia, I hope that brings more clarity to that. But certainly, let
And I
us
know that I just want to throw this in as a tip, as a thought, I hope, I'm a proponent of love, so is Lori. So I hope that in your everyday experience, you even just stop if you're new to this, or even if you're on your journey, and ask yourself, how can I bring love into my life more? Now, we're not talking specifically about, going out on a date. We're talking about, how do you feel? Are you clear within your emotional awareness, your love of self? Remember when I talked about David, the gentleman David, we have to have that vibration or that awareness that we are worthy of this, right? We have to face our new life and relationship in a loving space. Otherwise, what would happen? We're not energetic, however you want to say it, energetic, magnetizing, whatever. We're not putting out to the world who we actually are when we're limited and scared. Nobody can see us, and we wouldn't want that in somebody. So always ask yourself, am I showing myself enough love? How much more can I show myself? It's
Yeah.
not a frightening thing, it's a question. And see what your response is.
Yeah, beautiful. I just want to go off and start, teaching all the things.
I know, and we can't, but I know.
Not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But what I do want to do is tell you guys that we decided, we appreciate you guys spending time with us, and we want to reward people who are, showing up for themselves. And so anyone who is here on the masterclass, or who watches the replay for the next 48 hours, signing up for Ready for Love we're going to put in 2 special bonuses for those people, just as a, and also to help you overcome the resistance, because the mind will say, oh, but nothing ever works for me. I don't know if I'm ready for that. All the things that our brain will jump in here and start to tell us. We want to help you get over that little bump there. And so the 2 special bonuses are, number 1, a free vision board session where we can explore and think about, and Mia does incredible vision board teaching. It's quite a bit different than probably the way you may have seen it or heard of it.
It's more about manifesting in your spiritual awareness of who you are.
Yeah, so we're going to put together a vision board class for those people. And the second bonus is we're going to offer a month free membership in the Greatest You Academy, which is, I won't go too far into it, but it's our bigger 12-week or 12 module course that really helps you dive into all the areas of life, and then teaches you how to create that health, the physical health, the spirituality, the security, the relationships, the job, all the pieces of life that all of us are after. So we're going to offer a free month of membership in that.
And the reason also is, as you're out in your dating world, you have access for coaching in there. So
Absolutely.
that was
That's
also
why
one of the reasons why we wanted to gift it, is because once you're now out practicing, you're going to be like, so
we want to be there to support and just be that, keep bringing you back to yourself and to what's wanted.
Yeah.
Mia, do we have the link for sign up?
We should. Just hold on a second.
Yeah, I think so. And in the meantime, does anybody have any questions, either about something that we talked about today, about what the class is like? It's been a lot of fun to run this. One thing I really like about it is that it is live. There's weekly coaching, right? There's every week you have a video to watch where you get the education piece, and you have an integration workbook, which allows you to take that information and actually integrate it into your life and your situation and your past experiences. I'm sure you guys have all had the experience where you've read a book or heard this amazing podcast, and you're like, whoa, that changed my life. Everything's going to be different from here on out. And then a week later, you're like, what was that podcast about? Oh yeah, I think I read that book, right? You have to take the information, you have to use it for yourself and really ask yourself the questions that will allow you to see how it applies to you. So the integration workbook is all about that. And then every week we meet live to go over your integration work, to talk about your experiences. Where are you getting stuck? What are your aha moments? All of the things that help us actually make the journey meaningful and productive, because we don't want that for you. If you're going to put in the time and effort into learning something, we want to help you, show you exactly how you're going to apply it. So I think that's all I wanted to say today.
It will be, it will come out in your email. I'm just not sure why I don't have it live, and I have to just giggle at myself. I'm calling our assistant, actually.
Perfect. Yeah. When are the live classes and are they recorded? Yes, absolutely. So the way we do all of our classes, this particular class is going to be Mondays, starts on the 10th of April. So it'll be the 10th and then the following 3 Mondays. And the way we do all of our classes is we do record them. And actually we have quite a few students who will watch them like, many times over, and they'll keep getting more information about them. But you can also write in your question. If for some reason you can't make it to one of the meetings, you can write in your question or something that you want to hear more about, and we'll address that just for you so that you have that on the replay. And that is, in case I didn't mention it, it's 6 o'clock Mountain, so 5 o'clock Pacific and 8 o'clock Eastern is the time for those classes, starting on April the 10th. So it's kind of a, we're not going to wait a long time. Anybody who's ready, we're going to jump in there a week from, 2 weeks from yesterday, right? Is that? Yeah, exactly. And just get going. Yeah. All right. So we are going to put the prayer in the replay.
And then here's the link.
And okay, and the link, and again, we're going to do the 48 hours, the 2 bonuses. And if you go away and start thinking about some of this, and there's a question that comes up for you, please reach out to us, because we want to make sure that we get those questions answered for you. And it could be about something, something that we said or taught today. It does not have to be anything particular about the class. We do what we do because we really want to support people and help you, move into all that you want. So definitely would be happy to answer any of your questions if something comes to you later.
Okay, awesome. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.